Hello, welcome back to Reading Success Academy. I'm Paula Smith with today's word attack practice. So we're going to be breaking down a longer word into smaller pieces to make it easier to read and easier to spell. There are a few clues that you need to be looking for in order to do that. And that's what we're going to get started with. Your very first clue is to look for special endings. So a special ending is a chunk, usually at the end of a word, that doesn't sound out just right, like shun or chur or shus or jur. Today's word does not have a special ending, so we're going to start with step 2, which is to look for 2 or more letters that work together to make one sound. So that could be a vowel team, or it could be like TH, digraphs and trigraphs. Could be like IGH, like in the word fright. It's whenever you have a group of letters and they all represent one sound. That's our second step, and that's what we're going to jump into in today's word of the day. All right, so since there were no special endings, we're going to go on a hunt for 2 or more letters that make one sound. And as you're looking through here, you might notice that there's this IE combination here, which could be a long E sound or a long I sound. Another thing that you might notice is that we have CI here, and sometimes CI can be a sh sound. Now, normally what I would recommend is just try something. You could try an E sound or an I sound, and that's actually the way that you want to do this. You want to go with the most common sounds for a particular group of letters. So most of the time when you see IE in a word, it's going to be a long E sound, and then you want to try long I. And if that doesn't work out, then try breaking it up differently so that you have these 2 for that sh sound. Now I'm going to save you a little time and tell you that this is actually going to be a sh sound in this word. But if you didn't know that, I'll also show you the strategy for figuring it out. So now that we've grouped together letters that make one sound, and there aren't always going to be groups of letters that make one sound, but the longer the words are, the more likely there are to have some that work together. So there aren't any more here, so we're just going to start from the beginning, and we're going to sound it out until we think we have a chunk. A chunk is part of a word that has one vowel sound in it. So we'll start at the beginning. P-r-o, pro. That's a very common prefix, isn't it? So we know our first chunk is pro, so we're going to just kind of keep that in our mind, but we're going to start over sounding out now. We're not just going to keep adding on to it because we don't want to put too many sounds in our head at the same time, or they'll get all jumbled up. So now we're going to start again. F-I, fe. Put a chunk line in there, and we're going to blend those first 2 chunks together. Pro-fe, pro-fe, and now we'll start again sounding this word out. Shant, shant, shunt. Now we'll put those 3 chunks together. Proficient, proficient, proficient. And we'll talk about the meaning of that word here in just a moment. Now let's go back, and I'll show you what happens if maybe you would put that IE together thinking it's a long E sound, and you'll still end up getting the word. So maybe you got to this part and you had this IE grouped together as an E sound, and you said seent, seent, proficient, proficient. Okay, that doesn't sound like a word, so you try something else. Try a long I sound. Proficient, proficient. Still not sounding like anything. It doesn't sound like any familiar words to you. And that's when you would switch over and say, okay, maybe this is sh, and then sound it out, and then it would have come together for you. Trial and error is the name of the game here. All right, we are going to take a look at the definition here. Well, before we do, let's go ahead and put our eye stoppers in here. Eye stoppers are just a great way to break up a word into chunks. It's a visual eye stop so that you're not trying to focus on the whole word at a time when you're learning to spell the word. So this is a little spelling trick I like to use. And I'll also change colors and add some more shape whenever there's something that I really want to stand out to my eyes to make it easier to remember a particular part about the word. So since those two work together, I'm going to give them a different color. And I'm making this shape so that I kind of remember it's a short letter than a tall letter. That's the tricky part I need to remember. And then that's it. Those are all the marks that we're going to make for that one. Definition of proficient as an adjective means competent or skilled in doing or using something. You could use it like this. After years of practice, she became proficient in playing the piano. This means she's very skilled at it. Now, usually you would use the word proficient, meaning that you can do something competently, you can do it well, but not necessarily, you're not really overly skilled, like you're not sensational at it. So if I told you, yeah, you're a pretty proficient speller, it means you can get by with most words, but maybe not like 100% with really great, really big words all the time. That would be more like fantastic instead, or extraordinary rather than proficient. Proficient just basically meets the need, or makes you qualified, I suppose. All right, my friends, we are going to stop here with today's word of the day, and I will be back tomorrow with a new word.